alive and strong, empowering entrepreneurs where you belong. Grow your brand, lead the way. On Fired Up Fridays, we light up the day. Fired Up Fridays, feel the heat. Earn your worth, no retreat. Build your tribe, make it right. With Chris and Lorri, we ignite. Online presence, stand up tall. Organic marketing, we cover it all. Engage communities, connection deep. We're Fired Up Fridays, success you'll reap. Fired Up Fridays, feel the heat. Earn your worth, no retreat. Build your tribe, make it right. With Chris and Lorri, we ignite. Online presence, stand up tall. Organic marketing, we cover it all. Engage communities, connection deep. With Fired Up Fridays, success you'll reap. Fired Up Fridays, feel the heat. Earn your worth, no retreat. Build your tribe, make it right. With Chris and Lorri, we ignite. Fired Up Fridays, feel the heat, earn your worth, no retreat. Build your tribe, make it right. With Chris and Lorri, we ignite.
Yeah. Ha, we almost listened to that song again because it
did.
rocks so hard, man.
So good.
I love that song so much because it totally reminds me of like Vixen, who I like love Vixen. I don't know if you remember I don't know. You may not remember Vixen. Actually, I always got to remember you and I have a little bit of there's a little gap.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Also,
So there was
I remember I grew up listening to my mom's like
yeah.
Herman's Hermits.
Yeah. Hermits is pretty good. I there was a band. Let me see if I could find it real quick while I'm talking to you. So there was a band in the mid to late 80s, and they were called Vixen, and they were all they were a female like hard rock band. I mean, they were great. And I got to meet them at Sam Goody. I remember waiting in line to meet them at Sam Goody. And it was awesome. And I got their autograph when they used to do cassette singles. I don't know if you remember that format. So it would be a cassette.
Yes.
And it came in a cardboard sleeve, and it was a cassette single. And sometimes
Yep.
it was a cool
Yes.
B-side. So yeah, this is Vixen.
Oh my
by
gosh,
the
my
way.
kids don't even know what cassettes
So,
are.
this is Vixen.
They look familiar.
Yeah, so
But I
that
wouldn't really say that I know any of their songs.
they had a big song, On the Edge of a Broken Heart. Living on the edge
Okay,
of a broken. I mean, come on, it's
I
like
do know.
yeah.
Yeah. It
Why
sounded
am I
just like
singing?
that, Chris.
Yeah, it sounded just like that. Anyway, Vixen was awesome, and that song reminds me of Vixen. Not bad for AI.
Friday.
Yeah, not bad for AI. So yeah, happy Fired Up Friday. You guys just got a little history lesson in some 80s hard rock there, by the way. Check out
There
Vixen.
you go.
First of all, check out Vixen. That's number one. Number two, we're super psyched to be here because it's Fired Up Friday, and we are ready to bring the heat here today as we discuss, as the song says, organic marketing.
Yes.
We cover it all.
We cover it all, but we are still niche
Yeah.
in the organic side of stuff.
We are. We cover it all, but we're niche. Yes, exactly.
true.
Very
Well,
good.
I mean, and to that point, like we always talk about niching down, knowing your audience, so you can speak
Yeah.
to their pain points, but also like being able to pivot or being able to answer questions and having a general knowledge. This is just something this is a complete tangent, but it's called a T marketer versus a I don't know, T or U or something. They use letters, but a T marketer is like knows a lot of stuff on the surface level, but then has a specialized in one spot.
Right.
And the specialized marketers, especially because of AI, they're starting to struggle because they aren't able to do a lot of the different things outside of just their one focus.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting. I actually had 3 marketing friends that blew me away that they are no longer employed. But this past week, and they were like, "Hey, do you know anything?" And I'm like, "There's a reason why I started my own company."
There's a reason.
But I will say that, startups and versus enterprise, there's a different need. So
Absolutely.
In your marketing journey, if you are a specialized, that is more of a larger corporate enterprise kind of a company, they are looking for enterprise positions. In the startup world, you need to be scrappy, and you might be the email marketing person as well as doing the videos and social media. So yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you never know. You're gonna wear a lot of hats, especially in a smaller company, and but that's how it goes, right? You gotta be a little scrappy, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. But be prepared. Be prepared to like be a master of all trades.
Well, I think that phrase, people don't say it all the way. I want to, what is it? The
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah. The actual phrase is like, Jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. So there you go. Ooh.
That's it. So guys, thanks for watching today. We appreciate it.
Vixen
and the rest of that phrase. That fired up. Oh, you fired up.
So we actually did talk about a topic for today.
We do have a topic for today, and
it actually does lead into that.
It does lead into that, actually.
You are so busy wearing so many hats.
You planned that segue, didn't you?
I did not. It is. I am on my game today.
You are.
But yeah, we do have so many hats to wear, but it also doesn't mean that you have to be the one that is doing all the things all the time, all alone. Just for, this show, for instance, I have had a StreamYard account. It's been the free account. I also have a Restream account. I at one point had a Riverside account. I have had all the accounts that I've needed to go live for several years, but I am now only going live because Chris, that's his strength. And so to that end, we're talking about the power of partnerships. And
that's right.
And in business, if you've got a partner like at home, even more fantastic.
Even more fantastic.
But there is power in partnerships and how to find the right people to partner up with. And what does that even mean? What can you do? So
yeah. No, it's a great topic to talk about because for 20 years I was involved in a business partnership when I owned my when I was the co-owner of Gray Sky Films, my video production agency. And it was really great because I think back and I'm like, I don't think at that time either one of us could have run it on our own because there were just strengths and weaknesses, and I think we both really as we learned very deep into it how to use those strengths and weaknesses, identify that, and then use like, okay, Chris is strong in this, he's strong in this, and like let's really leverage that and like actually identify and where aren't we great, and so how can we complement each other for the good of the business. It's strictly so the business can be successful and grow, and then where we both aren't great, it's like, well, then that's probably somebody we need to hire. Like that's going to be somebody we're going to need to like put into that role. But having a partner is nice. It's as long as the key to partnerships, and I learned this is the communication, and you gotta kind of be raw with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is a marriage, it's a business marriage, but like you have to be open with each other. Otherwise, things like resentment sets in, assuming thoughts, all weirdness, right? Like you want to take as much weirdness out of a partnership, a collaboration as fast as you can, because that will fester and totally rot you out from the inside. It 100% will. I've seen it, and it kind of happened a little bit until I got a handle on it, but like it happens. It totally happens. So but partnerships are great.
And I think too, I was trying to think of the book, and it's either there's a series and it's like Traction, it's I think Rocket Fuel is the actual book by Gino Wickman. And
Okay.
it talks about how successful companies have visionaries and they have integrators. And we've actually talked to several different clients for several years now.
Mhm.
And I can say you've got the visionary, the person who's got the dream, the idea, the North Star, like this is where we're gonna go. We're running and like comes up with the ideas. And
Right.
then the integrator is one that's like, okay, hold on, like let's put a process behind that. Let's like measure the ROI. Like let's figure out if that is what we need to be focusing on right now. Like having the visionary is just a great both of them are needed. And so it
Mhm.
talks about the partnership. One of the companies that I worked with, they had 3 co-founders and they were all visionaries.
Right.
And so in the whole entire time I was working with them, like every week at the team meeting, it was like a whole totally different kind of conversation because it was like, oh, we're gonna do this, oh, we're gonna do that, like, oh, we're gonna do this. And it was like they were great ideas and super excited and
Right.
amazing leaders getting everybody on board, but like it kept shifting and pivoting and they didn't stick with any one thing for
Nothing gets
long
executed.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, first of all, nothing got executed the way they should.
Right.
And they didn't give enough time before they were off like having another idea. And
Yeah.
so it they struggled and they burned a lot of dollars, they burned a lot of time, and they ended up having to shrink and they actually got acquired simply because and the people acquiring them, like they were all like numbers.
Right.
So it was perfect, but that could have been avoided in terms of having to let a lot of people go and redoing the whole entire company if you're able to find somebody. So that's where, like you said, like you got to have a good partnership where it's like, here's my strengths and here are my weaknesses, and know and be humble enough to have those there. It's
Right.
not a bad thing. Like we are here all
Not at
on
all.
earth with different strengths and weaknesses for purposes
Yeah.
of connection. So and that's where like, Chris, you are fantastic at processes, and like I'm the idea. I'm like, hey, let's do this. Let's do this. And you're like, okay, let's talk this through. Let's walk through this. And I'm like, I'm just rapid fire.
No, it's
So,
good. I mean,
yeah,
it's good, and it's
neither one
just,
is bad. It's good to
right. It's just how, if you want to get things done in your business and move forward with things, like this is why having partnerships, collaborations are really important. And not every partnership has to be like, oh, now you're gonna be an equity partner and we have to, like,
yeah.
not everything has to be like, some of the stuff can be very short term. Like I have partnerships with people I do networking groups with. I mean, it's not anything official, but it's like, hey, we're both running this group, we both communicate. I mean, it's not heavy lifting stuff, but it's the
Yeah.
point is that we can like lean on each other. I mean, a lot of the stuff we do is through quick texts, but like the point is that it's a collaboration and we're both open and honest with each other and we communicate, like, because if you want to get things done in your business, it's hard to get everything done on your own. And like, even I just did the Humanize Your Brand conference last week, and
Right.
I've been doing that now for 4 years with my colleague Ann Papalizio. We're not formal business partners, but we do this every year. We collaborate on it and we start planning for it like literally a year ahead of time, and we have meetings and we talk, and Ann's really, really good like at systems, processes, and executing and things like that. And I'm good with some of the other, like the other side, but like we really divide and conquer the list. And believe me, there's a giant list of things that need to be done to make that conference happen. But like, we go right down the list and we just assign our names to it and we execute and we hold each other accountable. So
Yeah.
it's that's a great version of a partnership where it's not like some legal document and we got to file. Yeah, it's
co-founder,
right. It's
yeah.
not like that. It's more of a, hey, let's do this together and we're both going to win from it. But in order for it to work, we both have to be working in tandem. And, and maybe one week somebody will be doing more than the other. But the thing is you're always picking up the slack and you're always communicating is a big word
God,
that's always
yes.
going to come up.
Yeah, that's a big thing, is the communication part. Another like action oriented partnership that, because I want people to like take away and go, okay, what can I actually do today?
Yeah.
Start looking at like, are there any expos or conferences, or are there any networking events that have any kind of sponsorship that would be helpful for you to go, to be there, to get that brand recognition? And if they are, that's where one of those things where you can always talk to people and connect with people and work in tandem with somebody who is complementary to what you're doing, and split the cost of the table, split the cost of the booth, split the cost of the ticket to go, kind of a thing. We talked to a few clients just this last month who were like, oh my gosh, like I really want to be there, but it's going to be really expensive, or like, what do I, you can actually create a story from that as well. People love an underdog kind of a story, or they love these, these connection kind of stories. So you're like, hey, you know what? Like, I'm working with her, she's working with me. We're doing the scrappy because we want to be, wise stewards of our money. It like shows good character. It shows that you are collaborative. You can network. You can work together. And we are making a go at this together, arm in arm. We love your support. And people are like, oh my gosh, like, yes, I like that. Just, it almost, I won't say better, but in some cases, like that story will work really well.
Yeah.
More than just you at a table trying to hawk your
services. Yeah, hawk your wares,
products, like, like creating stories behind that. So
yeah. Melissa is saying in the chat, I dream of a collaboration person that matches my energy. Too many situations that have me in the planner, leader, accountable person without the meet me in the middle. I get what you're saying, right? Yeah. And that's very important, right? You got to do it with the right people. And sometimes you're kind of like, oh, this person really doesn't match me here. But it also comes down to, what are their particular strengths? And you may be really good at most of the things, but then maybe they're really good at the one thing, or maybe there's two things. But yeah, I agree. I mean, you want to be careful with the people you're picking and choosing, but that's why too, another good thing to do is maybe do something small and simple at first, especially if it's the first time.
Yeah.
And do something like that to kind of feel it out and see, like, something that's a very low risk thing, like putting on a webinar.
$50,000.
Right. Not giving someone $50,000.
That's a whole other story.
That's a whole other story. I don't want to get too sidetracked. Go to Lori's LinkedIn and you'll know what we're talking about. Go to her LinkedIn post.
I can speak to this thing, very well in the sense that one, like, mistakes are going to be made, and we're going to put our trust in, and the fact, Melissa, that you find yourself in that position shows your character of like, you're very trusting, and you are somebody who is a go-getter. Protect that energy just a little bit more and look at it like a trial. Look at it like dating, what's the like 3 months into a connection. And that's when, if they're not really feeling it, like you can't fake it anymore. There's some psychological studies that like after 3 months, somebody can't fake who they are anymore.
It's 90 days. You're right out of steam.
Or some special people can go longer, but
those are what we call grifters.
Those are scammers. But yeah, just go small. Like, if it is just a table at the Chamber of Commerce kind of a thing, or just something that, but I don't do partnerships or connections where I, am giving too much unless I have seen and know how that person works. Like those are some lessons over the past couple of years that I have it's something that I've repeated, and I have started to really protect my energy. And there's been, just this month, there has been a few opportunities that have come my way that I have just not felt right about connecting my brand, connecting my persona to that person. I have said no to a lot of and probably could be profitable opportunities too, but also just the person wasn't the right person to match my energy, like you said, Melissa. So be very diligent and vigilant with your energy, and feel where they are too.
Right. Great points. And, just to circle back, is especially if you're undecided, do something small, do something low risk together.
Yep.
Just to kind of feel it out and see. And then that way it's like, hey, if it doesn't work out, it really wasn't much of a loss other than, okay, some time. But like, try to, if it's like that. But I mean, trust your gut. I mean, if it's something that you don't feel like, if you're getting out those vibes, then don't run away. Yeah.
So
she's got another great question here too.
All Business Expo is coming up. I totally get a ticket, and I have an ad spot on the magazine. inspired me to step out more in business. I love that, Melissa.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's
yes.
give.
And so Melissa, we are, for those of you who are watching like Facebook
Yeah.
and other, like we have a group on Facebook, the Creative Marketing Corner. And so we love giving ideas, we love giving tips, and we love supporting each other. So Melissa, let's have a conversation then in the group then about, before you even go to that Small Business Expo, the things you can do to make sure that your time is very well spent before you even go there. So that way,
Yes.
yes. Don't go to a conference not having a meeting set up.
Yeah.
Sort of deal.
Lorri and I are very adamant about this whole process. So
yes,
we're happy to help.
The last thing you want to do is pay for a ticket, go to a conference, and walk around the floor, get a whole bunch of random cold emails that don't work, and then have wasted that money. So there's a very good system that you can set up before you go to make conferences work for you. So
get that ROI, and whether that's in money or it's in time. Like the point is, you want to get a return on that investment, and we have developed a strategy that will get you a return on investment. That's these actions will help.
So I do want to point out that a lot of the things we've talked about so far have been like in person, like co-founder or partnerships or things. But some of the things you're doing, Chris, are not necessarily in person. So that's where you can utilize your platforms, something like this, a StreamYard, and get a little show, or doing reels, collaborative, reels together. There's and sharing that and sharing those audiences. That's actually one of the tactics that you can use in a very non-manipulative way. But somebody who is also just a little bit further ahead than you are, that is something that you can also reach out and make a connection, build a relationship first. But then if you start collaborating, that's how these big collaborators on any platform, they're borrowing and collaborating and using each other's audiences, because they're very similar, but not necessarily all the same people. And so my kids like to watch the Ninja Kids on YouTube, and it's a family with kids, and they're gymnastics and martial arts, but like they're constantly doing some activity with another family who also has a very large following, but they're doing different things. They're doing game shows or things like that. And so it's like they're bringing their audiences together. And so, if you have 500 followers on your accounts, then go to somebody who has 1,000. Yeah. Because that's a little bit further ahead than you, but that was 1,000, that person has 1,000, like they could probably use some of your 500. And so you can start looking at partnerships in that kind of way as well to share your networks.
Yeah, you're cross-pollinating your networks. And don't ever make the assumption. Like, just don't make assumptions first off. Never make an assumption. Never make an assumption. Yeah. But just because this person has a large following doesn't necessarily mean that they don't want to partner with you. So you just got to ask. And the worst they're going to say is they're not interested.
Yes.
And hopefully they'll also thank you for asking and then tell you they're not interested if that's the case. But don't be afraid to ask. Don't let the fear of someone's following or anything like that, because you don't know where their following is. And a lot of times too, like even my coach had a massive following on Instagram, and she literally burned her account down and started a new account. And the reason why, she's like, you know what? A lot of the people that started following me back when I started on Instagram, started as a coach, are not the same clients and people that engage with. So I have a lot of people on my account that don't engage with me anymore because I'm not relevant to them anymore. We're not relevant to each other, and there's nothing wrong with that. And she literally was like, I'm shutting this account down and I'm just starting a brand new account because I'd rather have an account now that's more of where I'm at and speaking to the people I'm with. And so she went from like a 20,000 account to like basically starting completely over again. And that's the kind of thing, is just because someone has that large following, don't assume that they're not going to want to do that with you, because that following they have may be some really old followers that don't really engage with them anymore.
Or they bought them.
And there's that too. So
it's always a relevant question. Where did how did you acquire these followers? Are they purchased?
Are they purchased? So don't just don't assume anything ever. And don't let the self-doubt creep in of like, well, who am I to be asking them, or any like, I'm telling you right now, it's head trash, and just go ahead and do it. And the worst that's going to happen is they're just going to say, I respectfully decline, or no, I'm not interested. Totally
Yeah.
fine. You know how many more people there are probably in your given industry or vertical or whatever you want to call it that probably have a following that would love to do something like this, that like, and whatever that is, like Lori's saying, like an Instagram live together, doing this Facebook live, or if you have a podcast or some kind of live stream, whatever it is, or a webinar where you both collaborate back and forth, like whatever that kind of thing is, like just ask,
Yeah.
because you'll be surprised how many people say it. I love when people ask me. I love it. First of all, I'm always flattered that I'm like, oh, wow,
Wow.
you would, oh, thank you. It's always so flattering.
Yes.
But I love that because, yeah, it's an opportunity, and that's how you have to do it. It's an opportunity to have conversations with people that you've never been in front of before.
Yeah.
It's a great opportunity, and anything like that is an opportunity to be treated, and both should see it as that way. Like, it's an opportunity to reach more people, to get better, to talk about your things, get great feedback from an audience, a community on what you're talking. Like, it's a
Yeah.
great experience all around. So,
And you can also, I'm trying to think of like, okay, so we talked about like partnering up in a business, like a co-founder skills. We talked about doing events together, like
Yeah.
network marketing or conferences, etc. We talked about doing live and social. One of the other things that you can look at through your community is how can you show up and do a partnership that is helpful, but also kind of like a billboard style. Thinking about how one of my friends, she prints a lot of things. She makes, cups, mugs, t-shirts, sweatshirts, etc., etc. And one of the things that she did is teamed up with the local little football league.
mhm.
And so their little city kids running around with their football shirts, her logo is on the football shirt, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And so there are some different kinds of partnerships that you can look and see that might be helpful if you're able to provide a service, and they can also help you then with your branding. And I will say, be very careful again of your time and energy. And we're not a charity, but be looking around your community and see if there's something that, is there a bench that's, that needs some fixing up, and you can get some paint because how to paint, and can you paint, and then maybe have something there on the bench that, has your logo, sort of a deal, or some of these different things around your community that you can be involved with that will then allow you to get some brand recognition, sort of deal.
Yeah, not everything has to cost a lot of money. You don't need the stuff that Lori and I are talking about here. Most of it is either free or very low dough. I mean, it's just how you think about it. And this always comes back to everybody here in the group knows how much I harp on the market yourself like a band idea, but it is very true. And I've used this analogy before, is like, even me being in bands back in the day, like one of the great things that bands do, and you still see them do it now. I just saw someone release something on Spotify as an EP.
Yeah, you had that
and
one
like,
that you shared with me.
yeah, so it's basically like it's like a side A and a side B. So say you're, back in the day we would do this. Like putting out music is expensive, and to put out a full record on your own or a 45 or whatever is still expensive. And so what bands would do, and I've done this and you literally get together with a band that you have a really good relationship with, share similar audiences with. Once again, here we go. Here's the collaboration, expose audiences. And you literally would go in and put out the record, split the cost, and someone would be on side A and someone would be on side B. Or you're like 2 songs on side A and 2 songs on side B. So it's a little EP. You put it out together. You both now have a record to sell, give out, or CD, or whatever it is. But now you have it, and you've split the costs of the actual manufacturing of said like product. But it's a great way to now you've got something, right? And so this goes for books. This goes for pretty much any medium, but like even digitally, like you see bands release like an EP and it's with 2 bands and they've got like, 2 or 3 songs each, and they're putting out to their audience, and that's exposing the different audiences together. And so that's the kind of mentality that Lori and I are talking about. Like, that's something that you all need to adopt. It's a reframe, and it's a way of rethinking about how you've gone about things and how you've looked at putting yourself out there is to not be fearful of these things. Obviously, yeah, you want to partner with the right people and make sure they fit and all that. But like, this is the things when somebody tells Lori and I, I've done everything. And Lori and I will look at each other with telepathy and we'll be like, you've done everything, have you?
Everything.
Everything. And we'll start going down the list and
Even
it'll be
I
like,
haven't done everything.
yeah, I mean, geez, there's
And
a
I've
billion
been-
things I haven't done. But like,
5 years.
you haven't done everything. You haven't done everything. And it just takes a little bit of like stepping back. Let's think about it and let's see what things we can do. And, you know, what are your goals? What are you trying to achieve? All that. But like, there's so many opportunities to be able to get in front of the people you want to be getting in front of more by doing a lot of very, like, just call them small, tactical, organic things. Like what we're talking about here, collaborations. Like t-shirt collaborations are great. Like, you know, did you ever go to the school fundraiser and they're like, hey, all these companies paid like $50 to put their logos on the back of the shirt, and then you buy the shirt at the booster club? Guess what that is? That's a collaboration. Like, you know, like what's a product you can both collaborate together? A journal, you know, like I saw at the Empowered Podcasting Conference that my buddy Mark Ronick did. He's in his group, and they did a great collaboration with one of the speakers, and they had a book that they gave away, and it was a great like thing for jotting, and they did it like almost like high school yearbook style. It was really cool, but it was a great way to collaborate the conference as a whole, and then what this person did, who also was a coach, and blend them together to make something that was fun and unique. And that was like a great coming together.
In to create a really cool pen.
Yeah. But that can happen.
So here's what I have a thought, but also I'm going to interject here. If you have a question as to like, okay, here's my business, here's my service, here's my product. Like here's a challenge for me and Chris. We can guarantee you that if you post your business, service, or product in our group and say, I've done everything, Chris and I can come up with a very unique, scrappy, organic way to market that you hadn't thought of before.
I like that challenge. I take that challenge. I choose. Yes.
I choose.
No. Yeah. Please. I accept. And
we can geek out over this.
Do
stuff.
that because Lori and I are complete nerds.
Yes.
And we do geek out over this. But yeah, seriously, what Lori just said, if you have that challenge, throw it in the group and let us show you the magic.
But one thing I was going to say is I think that
that's magic. That's the magic. It just happened.
Somebody's they're gonna put their service there. I think one thing that we need to address though as well is that I feel like there is a trend that is happening that we used to look at each other as competitors. You know, I will shout out right now that there is somebody who's doing exactly what I want to do. Like exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely 100% what I want to do. Further ahead than me, making way more money than me kind of a thing. And I was nervous to ask him how he was going to do it. And Chris knows this. Like I have been like, over the past like few months, I was like, oh my gosh. And I finally reached out. I was like, hey, like I had some questions. I don't want to pick your brain, but maybe like, could I take a peek behind the curtain? And he was like, of course. In fact, here's a discount. And I was feeling nervous about taking it. I didn't take it. And Chris, I'm sure Chris is like, oh my gosh, Lori. But for the past few weeks, it just kept hounding and hounding. Like, here's somebody who's doing exactly what you want to do, making the level of money you want to be making, and offered a discount to show you how to do it.
To show you how to do it.
Why are you like, the universe is like, I put this person, and like I felt a brick like getting inside my head. It is so cool though, because I am now in this person's group. I'm seeing how they're setting things up, and they said, just don't steal my stuff. And I already have my system. I already have my thing, but I have not been able to scale it to his extent. And he let me in the group, and I am now seeing different things that I can do differently to add more value to my clients. We're competitors, but we're not, because there's so many people who need our services and our help, and he was willing to let me in. And so I think there is a shift, especially in the entrepreneurial world, where more people are working on bootstrapping because taking the investment, getting a boss, and now having the pressure to scale
Right.
and with the landscape of the economy, we are having to bootstrap, and bootstrap is getting scrappy. And it is the guerrilla rock kind of style sort of stuff. Like, remove the word competition. Nobody is competing with you, because there are so many people who need your services, and the way you execute it. You
Right.
can have the exact same business, the exact same company. You can even be going after the exact same audience, but how you execute is going to be differently, because you're coming with different experiences, you're coming with different insights, and you're going to execute differently. So I think that is also a big thing when it comes to partnerships and collaboration, is that we're removing the word competitor from our language, and we're now looking at everybody as a collaborator and working in that energy. I think that is going to bring a lot more abundance and a lot less stress, a lot less fear, and a lot less holding back.
Right.
So anyway, that I just felt compelled to say, like, let's focus on the collaborator instead of the competitor kind of mindset.
I think that's very wise.
Yeah.
No, I do. And listen, and being just going back to my video production roots, I mean, Mark and I had very much the same mentality, because we collaborated a lot with other production companies, whether it's sharing personnel, sharing equipment, collaborating on a project. Like, hey, a project was too big for this person, so they brought us in and we worked with them, or vice versa. So there was a lot of that going on. And yeah, while we definitely get into situations where we're probably bidding on the same job or something like that, like, that's just business. It's okay. But like, don't not collaborate with somebody because you feel like, oh my God, they're a competitor. And especially if you have a good relationship with them already, like, don't let the ego get in the way of just doing good work. And there's business for everybody,
Right.
there's business for everybody. And I put our
Yeah.
logo, I just got our logo up, by the way.
Yes.
You see that? I did. I just put it up in the corner. Our official Gorilla Rock logo.
Everybody needs a go. Okay, that's your
wait.
challenge is to go find a Chris in your life, because you really could look at it. Chris and I are technically competitors. He's got
I
Rocket
guess.
Agency, and he teaches marketing to entrepreneurs. What do? Ooh, I teach marketing to founders and startups who are also entrepreneurs. And we're like, you know what? Like, let's combine and let's serve, and let's bring our collaborative minds together. And it has been so much fun. And so while we're also doing a lot of things on our own and by ourselves, it's also fun to know that we're not alone. And so that's the other thing too, is that, having somebody, again, maybe not necessarily co-founding and having equity, but having a partnership like this holds you accountable, makes it fun, a great resource to bounce ideas off of, and motivating. And yeah, so entrepreneurship does not have to be a go at it alone kind of a journey. And the whole, like, a white snake, I think, isn't it? That here it is, like, here I go on my own. Isn't that the song?
Here I go again.
Yeah.
Here I go again on my own.
It doesn't have to be like that.
Yeah. Doesn't have.
You're proud of me.
Yeah.
I remembered.
I am proud of you. I am proud of you. Very good. Good for you. I know you liking the white snake. I like it. Yeah, I mean, but it's true. You don't have to be on an island. It's you don't have to go about it alone. There's a lot of ways that you can collaborate with so many people across the board who are in your industry adjacent. Maybe you share the similar audience, but you don't do the same thing, or you are doing the same things, but like, are there ways you could fit together? Like Lorri just used that example. Like, yes, Lorri and I are both talking about marketing and both working with business owners and founders, but like, we just go about it in slightly different ways, but we also complement each other. And there's also strengths. Like, Lorri brings things to the table that I'm not very strong at. And I guess there's something I bring to the table.
Oh gosh, you bring a ton.
But the point is that we have found a way to really collaborate with each other. And this group, the group that we're doing here, like, and this is an example, steal this idea, guys. This Creative Marketing Corner group is collaboration. I had said to Lorri, I want to start a group and talk about marketing. Would you like to come in and host this with me? I think it'd be really cool. It literally started like that. Like, just let's do this group together. Completely no risk, just a free Facebook group. Let's invite some people in and let's share our ideas about organic marketing. Then we're like, maybe we should go live every Friday and just do a live stream. We'll just call it Fired Up Friday and be goofballs and talk about organic marketing and nerd out. And we're like, okay, let's do that too.
Yes.
And boom.
And ooh, should we hint?
Go ahead, you can hint. I'm gonna let you hint it.
The journey doesn't stop there. We have been behind the scenes working on some ideas that again, I was like, ooh, we should do this.
Right, Lorri, you know, I wake up in the morning to like a litany of things on WhatsApp. And
Chris is on the East Coast because
yeah.
at 5 a.m. I am writing him going, oh my gosh. And that's where he's like, let's get on a call and talk this through. But there is a very cool collaboration that Chris and I are putting together that we love to reach out to you guys, or you guys can reach out to us. We are kickstarting it. We've been very, very quiet about it in the sense that we want to be very particular as to who we talk to about this, because we want to get feedback and engagement from the people that we're going to launch this with. But now that we just teased it out to the whole entire internet, if you're interested,
if you're interested, just
we haven't liked you, we don't like you. Not we haven't gotten to you yet because
we just haven't
all
gotten to you
crazy busy.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, honestly, if you guys want to learn more about what we're talking about, just message Lorri and I, and we'll be happy to share with you what we're working on, and eventually it will be much more public. But for now, we're just sort of like, we got something, we're working on it, and we're sort of piloting it.
We're doing what we say to do, in the sense that we're not going stealth. You know, we're not putting our heads down and going stealth mode and putting something together. We are doing market validation first before we announce something and then have it flop.
Yep, exactly.
And so we are spreading the word and actually asking if this is something that is needed in the entrepreneurial world, and getting very cool feedback. I texted Chris the other night. I was like, wow, we got like a whole entire page worth of feedback from one of my friends, which was really helpful. So
it was very helpful.
Just some ideas. So
it was very helpful.
We are doing some market validation on a very cool idea that we're going to be launching here soon. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
But that's where, you know, we met each other, had no idea who each other was, through a mutual client. We, you know, did some video calls together through this client. Then we decided to do a free Facebook group. Then we decided to do live, and now we are building a company together. So that's how it works, guys. It's, you know, put the ego aside, find somebody that you vibe with, and rock it.
Yeah, basically rock it. Melissa saying, Lorri is so my type of person. Love that you guys came together for this.
I love you, Melissa. We'll have to do
Melissa's
a Zoom. We'll do a Zoom call.
Yeah.
Melissa's the most active. You win the surprise. Let's schedule a Zoom call with Melissa.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about the business expo.
Yeah.
As well.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I think that'd be great. All right. Well, hey guys, let's wrap it up, because I want to get back to you, give your Friday back, and I've got something I gotta go. I gotta go somewhere. So but yeah, so guys, this has been great. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us today. Thanks for participating. And if you want to join the Facebook group, if you're watching this outside of the Creative Marketing Corner group, I will post the link where I think we got on YouTube here, and I think Lorri, it's on your Facebook. So if anybody wants to join the group, we'll put the link there so you could jump in if you'd like. And it's a free group. Just jump on in. We'd love to have you be part of the group, and because we're doing this every Friday, and we're also posting things, and it's a community. So it's a very active community where, you know, we encourage everybody to share, and we talk about organic and geek out over organic marketing. So we appreciate you guys, and I hope everybody has a great weekend. Lorri, any final words from you before we wrap it up?
Dude, now I got White Snake on the mind, so I've been playing that song.
Here I go again on my own. That and Vixen, yo. Vixen.
Okay. Vixen. That will be the
standing on the edge of a broken heart. Song's great.
those songs are great. That's a lot better than the songs that my Rebecca Black. It's Friday. That was a song played at my house today. So
Friday, gonna get down at Friday.
Yep.
Don't you besmirch Rebecca? Don't you besmirch?
Vixen.
No besmirching of Rebecca Black on this show. That song rules.
Every Friday it is
Yeah.
played. So
Every Friday.
all right, now that
All
we have put that song stuck in your head for Friday, have a fantastic day, and we will see you in the Creative Marketing Corner Facebook group.
That's right. November 1st.
Gosh,
Next
yeah.
week.
Next week. Ooh, we might
Day after Halloween.
Halloween costumes.
Might have to. I'll wear a Halloween costume.
Okay.
All right.
We will collaborate on that.
We will.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.